Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Oh my God.
It's a special occasion tonight, Justin.
Oh, it is, Mike.
It's a special occasion. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay. My weekend overall, I bowled another Greg Tack special, the New Jersey Sport Bowling Return to Bowl Masters up at Carolina Lanes, and made another vlog. I made the first cut and then missed the cut in the top 16 by 5 pins.
Were they impossible? Were they impossible again?
No, they were actually kind of playable. They were like a little over 2-1, but there was room for score, but when you had to move left, there was nothing to move left into. So
and I saw he had a pretty strong field again. Pepe, Brady, the normal suspects, right?
Yeah, it was another pretty good one. So if you want to go check that one out, go to my YouTube channel, Bowling an Adult Tournament, weekend long one, and it was another good time. It's going to be another good one for sure.
Good stuff.
Mike, how was your weekend?
Not too shabby. I went tubing, Justin.
Okay.
I didn't hurt myself like I did on the canoe. I went tubing. So tubing was fun. You should try it sometimes. I do it a few times. Every year, right towards the end of August, like the week before my dad's tournament, we always go down to Delaware. That's where I was.
Mainly because the water's a lot warmer than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All right. Enough about the tubing. I'm ready to get into it.
Just get right into it.
We've had some. I mean, we had your father on last week. We had Albie on last week, and now we're just going up the ladder of greatness that's coming to talk to us. Should we just go into it?
Give it a Mike Val introduction.
The legend of legends, Justin. 37 titles on the national tour, 10 majors, the only 5-time winner of the U.S. Open, 11 PBA 50 titles, 4 of those being majors, the second player in the history of the PBA with 100 career titles, a former Rookie of the Year, Triple Crown winner, the only player to complete the Triple Crown twice. Should I just keep going? I mean, seriously. What else is there to say? A 2-time PBA 50 Player of the Year, a 1998 inductee into the PBA Hall of Fame, 2002 USBC Hall of Famer, 4-time SB winner. I don't know what else to say, but he is here. PDW. Mr. Weber.
Oh, man, you guys are way too nice, Mike. Come on now. Come on, Parker Bohn on there and Mike Albie in one night. That's greatness right there. I'm not kidding you there. That's great.
Well, Parker just filled some airspace when Albie had some internet problems, to be honest with you.
Okay. It's still greatness.
Oh, absolutely. And we appreciate you giving us some time tonight, and greatness is here with us tonight, Justin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, Justin, let's get right into it because this one's going to be going. Everybody wants to hear it. So let's get right into it.
All right.
Let's fire it away. Get started. Pete, we want to have a good time tonight, hear some good stuff, and let's have some fun tonight, guys.
So Obviously, recently you just bowled in the King of the Lane series last week. You looked absolutely incredible. It was really good to see Pete Weber back on TV. You looked awesome, healthy with no injuries, threw it really well. What have you been doing to get back into bowling shape, and how did it feel to get back on TV?
Well, getting back on TV, man, that was kind of cool because I remembered what it was like to be on live TV bowling a singles event. So that was really kind of an honor for me to do. As far as preparation, I really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, I practiced a little bit. When we shut down March 15th, I probably started bowling again at the beginning of May. One of the guys I know owns a couple bowling centers, so he would open it up and a couple guys would go in and practice, practice for an hour or so. And then tournaments started coming up, so I started bowling around the St. Louis area and the tournaments I'm allowed to bowl in. And let's see what else. And I bowl league on Tuesday nights with my stepdaughter Katie. When I was bowling league, I was looking, let's work on balance. That means when I get to the foul line and letting the ball go, that I'm like almost posing. I don't pose a whole lot, but when I do, that's when I know I'm throwing it good. So I really worked on that, and it's just been carrying over. I mean, I'm really throwing the ball good, and I've got a lot of compliments too from everybody. So, that's kind of nice to hear.
What do you average in league, Pete?
Oh, right now I think it's about 225 on Tuesday nights. It's a 4-game league. I've had like 9-0, 9-20, 9-14, 9-0, 9-0. So right around 225.
Not bad. A respectable number there, Justin.
It's still a Wood Lane Center too. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Free hook.
So people don't know what that is anymore.
No, not around. Well, I think we have two around here. The tournament I bowled over the weekend, I think, is on wood also.
So I got one for him, Justin. We're talking about Florida last week and the made-for-TV series that they're doing. I guess the biggest thing is, what made you do all this stuff with Troop? That was hysterical.
Well,
I mean, my God.
Well, first of all, Kyle is a great sport. He's a class act, and I love that guy to death. And he knows how to bowl too, but he also knows how to have a good time. And right Wednesday morning, I was sitting in a hotel room, and me and Renee and Katie were sitting there, and I said, "Wouldn't it be funny if I sent you out to get a fro and put it on while Kyle's throwing one of his shots? So when he turns around and sees me, that he kind of like, smiles a little bit, and." I had a couple picks came with that. And so when he started the match, as soon as he got on the approach, I got the throw out. And you could see Chris Prather over there just ready to bust a gut because I had that throw and I put it on. So Kyle would see it, but he ringed 10, so he really didn't look at me. And then he shot the spare, and then he really didn't look at me. He was going to sit down. I was like, "Hey." And he turned around, and the look on his face was just priceless. I mean, just priceless. He was like, it's everybody saw it. And then later, Randy said, "Well, Pete, give him the business." So he was up bowling. I got in the bag, and I got a pick out. I left the fro in the bag because I start picking that fro, it'd probably pick it off. So I just, when I threw the strike, I got to pick out and pick my own hair. And Kyle actually said, "You did that pretty good." So, and shout out to Kyle. Hey, man, thank you so much. You were a great sport, and I love you, man. That was so much fun, and thank you for being part of it.
Gamesmanship at its best there, Justin.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely a fun time to watch. The jokes, the bowling, how close the matches were. It was fun to watch on Wednesday night.
It was, I mean, I had a blast. Me and Kyle had a good time. And then, with Prather, I got a little bit more serious because there was a little bit more money involved. And, that eighth frame, I got the ball in a little bit, but I had speed on it. So it kind of held the line. And, I've always hated those gold pins that we used to use. So what did I leave? A Smash 7 gold pin. So there's
Thanks for playing.
another one up to the gold pins. Even though it was a bad shot, I hit the pocket, got a bad break. And in the ninth, Prather didn't throw the greatest shot. He was a little slow with it and he got a good break by tripping the 4-7-10. And that's what this game's all about sometimes, is who gets the breaks and who doesn't. Unfortunately for me, I didn't. Fortunate for him, he did. And, you got to respect that, because breaks are what makes you great.
And Prather throws it really, really well. He really throws it great.
He's impressed me for the last 2 years. I mean, and I was serious on the show when I said that he's the man to beat right now. Belmo hasn't been around to do anything. Prather's winning everything. So, he's to me, he's a man to beat.
I got one, Justin, really quick, Pete. And I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if Justin does. How were you selected for this show? Was it something off the points with the senior tour, or like an invitation? Like what got you your invite to Jupiter?
I'm not really sure, Mike. I was sitting here and I got a text from Tom Clark asking me if I'd like to be part of the King of the Lanes series in Jupiter. And well, naturally I'm going to say yes. And I know that me and Walter Ray, Clara Guerrero, and Jasmine Gigi, we all got invites. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. So,
all right, just wondering.
And I wouldn't. I'm sure nobody was eager to turn it down either.
No, we would
on TV and make a little bit of money. So,
and we wouldn't want you to turn it down. We want to see Pete on a live TV show. We missed that.
Oh, I like to be on it now, because I'm telling you, I remember what it was like, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, Justin, why don't you fire away with the next one here? Let's start it up here.
We're going back. Obviously, now we talked about one of the recent events, so we're going to go back to where it all began. As the story goes, you started bowling men's leagues in your early teens, and Mike was telling me that you shot you shot 300 in your first game of league. How hard was it to convince your parents to bowl with the men? And what do you think is the biggest difference from youth bowling to when you were a teen to what it is today?
Well, it was really easy to convince my parents. Actually, Dad was the one who said, "Hey, you want to get out of the juniors and bowl men's league?" I was like, "Sure."
Oh, okay.
So, it was real easy to do that. And I signed after school one day, I was bowling in a singles league at Crest Bowl, which is probably a mile away from Dick Weber Lanes, where I grew up. But I signed my ABC card, and I was officially in an adult league. I was the adult in a league. And I shot 300 the first game, so that was kind of cool. Juniors, when I grew up, around here, there were just like local junior tournaments for me to bowl. There wasn't really like scholarship money to be made for college or anything. But as of today, man, there's everything for junior bowlers to make. They can bowl PBA events, I guess, and get that. Justin, what is the fund that they use for that? Smart fund.
Yeah.
So, okay, so they can use that and get the money. If they win any money, they can get it put into that for college, and it's a lot more serious than today, I think, than when I bowled. I mean, when I bowled, there was only maybe 10 really good junior bowlers, and now you have thousands of junior bowlers.
Yeah.
So, and thousands of good ones too. And back when I grew up, we just didn't have junior gold or the teen masters, and if we did, I never knew about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like you sound like you were more bowling for like a trophy, like when you were a kid. Where now they're bowling for more prestige and recognition in their futures.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what we got. We got a trophy, a pat on the back, nice bowling. But now that it's they win scholarship money, the teen masters, the junior gold, those are prestigious titles. Those go a long way when you're filling out an application for a ball company and you got junior gold champion on it, or teen masters or team USA. I mean, you get junior bowlers are a lot more serious today than I ever was. I mean, I was serious, but these bowlers are a lot more serious and a lot more technical than I am.
Yeah, Team Bohn is the perfect example of that. Him and his brother are they live in the center.
Bowlaholics.
Oh yeah.
Bowlaholics. I know what they do. I've seen them out on tour with Dad and everybody. So they like to bowl, and that's really cool. And you know, they're good in their own right too. So
yeah, they got some game, the both of them.
Yeah, so I'm glad I'm going to be done with that junior tour when they get out there.
So you got out of the kids. So you joined the PBA in '79, right?
Yeah,
when it was '79. So
November, yes.
Let's go to the first couple years back on tour before you won in Windsor Locks. That was your first title. Did you hit the winner's circle in any regionals before you got to the national tour? And what were those first couple years like before you won on the national tour?
Well, I had won a regional here in St. Louis when I was either 15 or 16 at Trails West. I won by.
Wait, you were 15 or 16 years old?
15 or 16 years old.
My God.
And I won by 500 pins. It was just when after 16 games on Sunday, whoever was leading won. Mm-hmm. There was no top fives. So I won by about 500 pins. But it came back to haunt me because I thought I had 100 titles, and they took the one at 15 or 16 away from me because I wasn't a member. So I only had 99. And then when I won here in 2018, I think here again in St. Louis, I beat Kyle Sherman that was my official 100th title. So, you know, it goes without saying.
So what was it like before you hit the winner's circle? Like, did you have any doubt before you got to that first title on the national tour?
No, I didn't have any doubt, but you know, it's a learning process again. Bowling out on tour and bowling at home are two different things. I mean, there's more stuff you need to know about ball weights. Back then, it was very simple, though. You know, you had positive weight, negative weight, finger weight, thumb weight, top weight, bottom weight. Now I don't even think that even comes into play anymore. I'm just going to say. So, you know, it was very easy to lay a bowling ball out the way I wanted to. And now they're so technical now, I can't do anything. But out there, yeah, I mean, very few guys have ever gone out and been successful immediately. It takes a year, 2 years, 3 years out there full time, learning different ball rolls, learning different angles on the lane to play, learning different releases, how to shoot spares. I mean, it is a learning process out there. And if you don't pay attention to it, then you're never going to make it. And that's what I think guys need to do. They need to give themselves at least 2 years, if not 3. Because, you know, I don't think anybody gets real successful until maybe their second to third, maybe in their 4th year of being a touring pro, that they actually get successful at it.
All right. So, Justin, I think the follow-up you got is a pretty good one for that one.
Yeah, I actually got one thing to add about that one. Like Chris Prather, for example, he was in his 4th or 5th year on tour as it was. And he said at the beginning, I think of 2019, he said, if I don't win this year, I'm probably not going to continue this. And sure enough, he goes on to win Scorpion and then the playoffs. And a year later, he wins the TSC. So, I mean, that's just an example of what he's talking about, how it takes 2 or 3 years. And for Chris, it was 4. So.
Well, all right. See, it was 4, but, you know, he stuck with it. He wanted to be out there, and he learned stuff. And then he started listening to, like, the ball reps, too, and got the contract with Rotogrip. And, man, wow. You put great bowling balls in the guy's hands, and it doesn't matter what kind of bowling ball. If the guy is good, he's going to make the ball look great anyway. So, and Chris is making it look really easy. And yeah, he learned and he's taking advantage of it now.
Yeah, very true. So I got a good one. What do you think your career would have been if you were like 18 years old now and just starting the ball on tour with the ball reps and the equipment and all the different changes from now compared to when you went out on tour?
Wow. I'm thinking that I'm hoping I got like about 200 more rev rate than I have now. Still want my spare game. And just to know what I know now, to be 18 again and know what I know now, I think I'd have a hell of a career. I think I might have 100 titles or 100 PBA tour titles by now.
100 national titles.
Yeah, national titles.
So let's go to the 80s really quick, Pete. So you dominated the 80s, and you had that trick with urethane that most of the guys didn't have out there. Everybody knows that. You had 13 titles in the 80s, and you kind of let everybody know, like, hey, I'm here. This is my tour. What, like, did you ever say to yourself, like, this is mine now? Like, I'm here. Come and get me. Like, was there one specific time where you could think, like, you know, it was yours for the taking?
Wow. You know, there's so many that. Let's see, the Firestone tournament or the Barbasol Tournament of Champions against Belmonte in 2012 is like, yeah, if you want it, come and get me because I'm not going anywhere. And that one sticks out. The fifth U.S. Open, naturally, it was mine to take. I mean, it wasn't anyone else's to give me. It was mine to take. And I knew immediately when I let go of the ball that it was mine. I knew. If I was going to leave 9, it was going to be a solid 8. That's the only pin that could have stopped me.
Was that the most pressure you've had in one shot in your career? That shot at the U.S. Open?
What pressure? There was another shot to me. I was in that mood too.
Wow.
I was so relaxed on the lanes that needing the strike in the 10th frame, there was no pressure. I knew exactly what I had to do, and I did it. I mean, I didn't think about, well, you need the strike to win. You got to just, all I said was, let the ball go. You know it, go to the pocket. Just let it go. So I let it go. It went to the pocket and struck, and I went nuts. I went nuts.
And as you should. I mean, how can't you? Well, Justin, you said that was arguably the greatest bowling moment or bowling line ever.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that being one of the most known bowling quote used outside of bowling.
Yeah, well, you guys really don't want to know what I wanted to say, but it just kind of happened to pop out at the right time, and you know, it got good publicity all over the country, probably all over the world. So you know,
well,
any publicity like that is good publicity for me. PBA.
Was there there was a heckler in the stands or something like that?
Yeah. There was some kid in there that wouldn't sit still, and then he kind of, when I left the 10 pin, he kind of rooted out loud against me.
Ooh.
And I thought, you know, I don't care if you root. Don't root out loud so I can hear you, because I will let you know. And so, you know, he kind of heckled me a little bit more. And I actually wanted to say, who do you think you are? Use your imagination, messing with me in my house. That's what I really wanted to say, and it just never came out right.
Well, I guess we're kind of glad it didn't come out, huh, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I said use your imagination.
Is that your biggest pet peeve? Like either somebody getting you in your approach, like with a flash or a laugh, like the other night, or somebody like rooting against you? Would that be your biggest pet peeve when you're on the lanes?
Well, you know, when it's silent in there, like at the PBA league, we know it's going to be loud, so there's no big deal. We know it. But when it's silent and you're in the middle of your approach and you hear ha ha like that, it kind of disturbs you a little bit. And, to me, that's kind of unfair to me. Fortunate I got a strike out of it. So I guess it didn't bother me that much. But if I didn't say anything, then people, whoa, what's the matter with him? Why didn't he say anything? So that's why I said, I heard you laugh. And then somebody said, she's just a fan. And I said, not in my approach, she's not. So, don't, so things do still annoy me like that. But, it was all in fun. So, and I found out who did it, but I can't tell you who it is.
And we're not going to ask. We're not going to ask, right, Justin? None of our business.
Oh, yeah. So let's go back to the 90s a little bit. And it was very well known that you had liked urethane a lot more than resin. I'll put it that way. So what did the resin ball do that affected your game so much more? And how did you adapt to the new technology?
Well, when they first came out, there was a handful of us that disagreed with it being allowed on the PBA Tour. The reason being is, what if we put aluminum bats into professional baseball? How far are they going to hit it? Or change the ball? But we just thought that it was an unfair ball for professional bowling. Of course, we got shot down and they allowed it in. And, then it became accuracy wasn't any part of bowling anymore. You could miss by 2 arrows and still wind up in the same spot. So, that took away from shot making and accuracy. And, of course, the way they hit the pins, I say it helped some of the straighter players. It gave them more power through the pins to where when they were throwing urethane, they were flat tinning a lot. Now all of a sudden they're not flat tinning anymore. They're striking. So I think it helped the guys that went a little straighter. And then I think it really helped the guys that really hooked the ball a lot and had a lot of revolution on the ball. I don't really think it helped me too much because I was kind of in between that.
Okay.
95, they started doing the oiling board by board instead of it was weird, but the lanes were wet dry. In the oil, my ball wouldn't hook at all, but as soon as it hit the dry, it went dead left, and I didn't know how to control that. And the guys that really went around the ball or around the lane scored, or the guys that really threw it hard and straight scored. And I just refused to believe that I couldn't make these balls work the way I bowled. Well, I proved that wrong. In 1995, I made $4,500 and I think 20 tournaments on the PBA Tour. Thank God for the region. I made 44,000 in the region. That's what kept me alive.
Wow.
The beginning of 96, I put a wrist device on my hand. My brother Rich we got a wrist device on my hand to make me learn how to stay more behind the ball and get more forward roll. And we found one that worked. And actually 96 was a pretty good year for me. And then 97, I really came alive again and made these balls work. And so I guess, I've gone through all the trends with the rubber to the plastic to the urethane to the reactives to whatever we have now. I don't even know. They're just the hybrids are so powerful anymore. The balls are so powerful anymore, but so I just don't know what to do with them all.
So, Justin, we have a question in the chat. I think we can throw this one out. In your opinion, Pete, who did resin hurt the most? Was there one guy that you think it just really kind of like affected the most?
Me.
Really?
Me. Because it took me a while to figure out, because of my side roll, how to throw these things and actually how to stay behind the ball, to get more forward. $4,500 in 20 tournaments on the national tour is not real good. And there was a point that year that it was like, wow, I just don't want to bowl. But I bowled the regions and did really good in those. I think I made like 11 top fives in a row that year. So, that's the only thing that kept me bowling.
Huh. So let's get through the 90s, guys, right? And now we go to the 21st century, and PBA was bought. The Microsoft guys take over. Yeah, exempt field, different formats, new lane patterns, yada yada yada, all that stuff. So the PBA that you and your dad kind of built up is gone, and we're looking in a different direction. Were you kind of in favor of the changes that they had set, or not in favor of the new PBA?
Me, myself, I was in favor of whatever they wanted to do because they bought the PBA and they kept bowling alive. So whatever they wanted to do was okay with me. The exempt field, maybe I thought was a little extreme. I think if they were going to have an exempt field, you open it up a little bit more and have a rabbit squad so other PBA members can come in and try and qualify. But, like I said, I was in favor of what they wanted to do, and I was going to back it 100%. So I just went along with everything they wanted us to do.
Good point. All right, Justin, I think you have another one here, don't you?
Do I?
Do you? Oh, we kind of touched on it already.
We definitely did.
One thing about when Steve Miller became the commissioner of the PBA, he had meetings with us, and what a great speaker he is. He motivated me. I know he motivated me just because I loved listening to him speak, and because he spoke the truth. He says, if you don't like it, then
there's the door.
Out. There's a door. Walk out. It's going to be our way or no way.
Mm-hmm.
So we did what they wanted. And when they said, they kind of threw it that we're entertainers too. And not only are we professional bowlers, we are entertainers because we're on TV. So they kind of said, well, if you say something on TV, just appeal it, we'll take care of it.
Huh, so they kind of forced you to ham it up a little bit, basically.
Well, they gave us kind of like a free run.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what these guys are really going to do. And, of course, I didn't hold back, especially in 2003 in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Spectrum Lanes, and I bowled 299 the game before I bowled your dad. And, I was fist pumping and crotch chopping and, it was just like I was having a blast because I knew if I did something wrong, I was going to get let go.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really bother me. So I was very free, but I kind of did watch myself. And, the next week they showed that to the players and said, this is what we want to see. People got into that. People were entertained. They were excited. They were into the show. And then you get some of these guys that they walk up, throw the ball, turn around and walk back. Gee, that's really neat to watch. If somebody exciting isn't on the PBA show, I'm probably not going to watch it because it's boring. It really is. And I'm sorry to say that.
No, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
I think bowling on TV definitely needs excitement. And for example, when we're bowling when you guys are bowling the PBA league and watching it, excitement is definitely brought out in that atmosphere.
Oh, and not just a couple people, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Everybody that's bowling is getting excited and getting into it. So, that's kind of like a different thing for us, but they need to do it on the singles events too.
I like that. That would be pretty cool if they did something like that with the main crowd for a normal national stop.
Yeah, give it a try at one or two of them and see how it works out.
Well, yeah, they tried to do it before, and it was still like the old school, and people didn't really care for it, like the screaming in the approach, or while we were on the approach, they didn't go for it. But the PBA league, I mean, everybody goes for it.
Is that the most eccentric place you've ever bowled at before, or what are the most loyal fans?
By far, none. I mean, that is the funnest crowd that we have ever bowled in front of. I don't care what tournament anybody says, that is the funnest crowd to bowl in front of.
We got to get up there, Justin. We're going to go up there this year if the league does get off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly the September 25th, 26th, and 27th.
I think, around there.
It's still scheduled.
Well, let's hope it stays scheduled.
Would love for it to be.
Now, Pete, did you know that our friend here, Mr. Bohn, he did a little video a couple months ago. Justin, why don't you tell Pete what? I don't want to step on your toes here. This is all your pride and glory here, pal.
So I was trying to figure out, or I have a YouTube channel and really had no tournaments to bowl, so that all my content was gone, and I was trying to figure out what could I do that would give bowlers something to watch that we really haven't seen, and impersonations was the option that I went with. And of course, with the amount of excitement that you have on TV, I had multiple ones of you, but the one that stuck out was obviously the most famous quote from bowling: "Who do you think you are? I am."
No, well, that's all right. Yeah, in fact, your dad asked me to watch that, and I did, and you guys actually did a pretty good job. I really liked the very first one. Is telling you, don't flash that camera on my approach. Don't you do it.
Oh, I forgot about that one, Justin. You did that one too.
That was really good. I like that one. And
Mike, do we want to give the viewers a sneak peek at it for those of them that haven't seen it?
Yeah, and Pete, maybe give like a 1 through 10, like the judges at the Olympics, and you can grade our friend Mr. Bohn here on his impersonation of you.
Well, okay.
We'll have some fun with this. Mike, which one do we want to start at?
You can pick whichever one you want, pal.
All right. I got the "Who do you think you are? I am" queued up. I think let's start with this one.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That is right. I did it. That's number 5. Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
All right.
A strike to win.
Wow.
U.S. Open. A strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And we got it! Yes! God damn it, yes! That's right! I did it! I'm number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am! Damn it, right!
Pete, that is pretty good. You got to give me credit there.
I give you a 10 on that one. That was really good. I give you a 10 on that one.
And your brother with the sports jacket is even better. That is really good, Justin.
Yeah, that was he was like, "I got an idea." I was like, "Okay." And he was like, I want to wear this. I was like, all right. And it worked out. It was hilarious.
Oh no, that was really cool. Wow. Yes.
Pete, do you feel honored that he did it that good? That was really good.
Hey, anytime anybody does anything I do, I feel honored, especially when they do it right. And that was right.
Yeah,
right,
that was about a 10 taker, just because some of them I had gotten through, and well, somebody was laughing in the background. That video was shot up at Uncle Doug's place, and he laughed every single time I did it.
You got one more.
I would have been there because I probably would have laughed right along with him.
You got one more queued up here, Justin?
Yeah, I got the "Do not flash the camera."
Yeah.
That's a fountain bowl here, right?
Oh yeah.
Do not flash the camera in my approach. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Do not flash the camera in my approach. I'm telling you, don't do it.
He even got the glasses in the hand too.
Oh yeah.
In the hand of it.
Pete, this kid's going places, isn't he?
Yeah. I tell you what, I saw a couple of the other ones he did too. I really enjoyed too.
Look at this, Justin.
Obviously, somebody did something to make me. I still threw it good, but you saw my reaction after I let that ball go, and I blamed a lady down the lane. And I come to find out it wasn't a lady. It was somebody else sitting in the stands. So I tried to apologize to the lady, but they gave me her email address. So I sent her an email saying, I apologize for yelling at you. I found out it wasn't you.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, thank you very much for. So I'm not such a, an ass after all. I do
Justin.
have a good side.
Everybody knew. Everybody knows you have a good side. We always knew that.
Oh yeah, Mike. I think I got 2 or 3 more if we want to keep going with it.
If you want to, or we can go right to the end here. Whatever you want to do. This is your forum, Justin.
This one, for as good as I thought I did the "Who do you think you are?" I am. I thought this one was another really, really funny one.
Oh, it's the World Championship.
7 point. Right carries up 10 pins. 10 deep track. 7 point. Right here.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. You did that pretty good too.
This kid's amazing.
He's got the glove on, everything. Got the facial feature going too. Sunglasses on. So another 10.
We talk about the glove, Justin. I have to ask because if I don't ask, I'm going to be sleeping with the dogs tonight. Pete, the missus wants to know, how'd the glove come about, and does it help you? If you don't answer that, she's going to make me sleep with the dogs tonight. So can you please answer my wife's question?
Well, this goes way back. Mike, you might have heard the name. Justin, I don't know if you've heard this name. Guy's name was Joseph Groskin.
Can't say that I have.
He was out of Memphis, Tennessee, and he wore these 2 leather straps over his fingers. And one day I was just asking him, I said, why do you wear those? And he just said to protect his fingers from the finger grips, because when he bowls a lot, he cuts his creases, and trying to get new skin to stick in there and ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So one day he made me a special 2 leather fingers and let me try it. And I kind of liked it. So I just kept doing it. Then I went to a baseball glove, and those were kind of a little thick because I really had to go like 3.5 sizes bigger with the grip. And then I found out a golf glove was a little thinner. So I started wearing a golf glove, and I went down like a size and a half in the grip from the baseball glove. So, and that's all it does is protect my fingers from the finger grips, because I can't get new skin to stick in the creases and on the sides. It just won't do it.
The tape doesn't work for you? You're not a big fan of like that yellow tape and that silver tape? Not for you?
No, I've tried it. Every time I've tried it, it's peeled up or, rolled off my fingers. And so I just don't even do it.
There you go. So I hope she's happy now. Thank God.
All right.
Justin, you want to go to the final 10?
Yeah, I do. There is one person in the chat who just gave a comment that I do want to give a quick shout out to. Darren Swavely says, PDW, you are the man. Darren is currently going through cancer and is going through chemotherapy right now. Darren, I hope you're doing well, and I wish you a speedy recovery. Stay safe out there, not only to you, but the entire Swavely family as well.
Yeah, they're great. They're great people. All the best.
Darren, please, best wishes to you. We'll say a prayer for you tonight when we go to bed. So
definitely.
Good luck to you.
All right. So, Justin, why don't you tell Pete how we finish our little show here?
You got it. So what we like to do at the end of every show is what we call the 10 frames of questions. So basically you go one-on-one with Mike and he asks you 10 random questions. Anything goes, basically. We like to hear some good stuff out of this.
All right.
So, Pete, let's go to number 1. You've heard it forever. Who's the greatest? Who's the GOAT? Let's just get it out of the way, Pete. Who is the greatest of all time, Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair?
Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I mean, come on. Hogan doesn't have 16 championships, and Hogan wasn't around quite as long as Flair has been around.
Is Flair the best of all of them? Stone Cold, The Rock. Is Flair your guy, or do you have a better?
Oh, my guy's the Undertaker.
Ooh, we
My
like the
guy's
Undertaker.
the Undertaker. I'm sorry, but he's the man. There ain't nobody better.
John Cena.
But which Undertaker are we talking about? So we got like the Dead Undertaker, we got the American Badass. Which Undertaker was your favorite one?
I like the Undertaker, not the American Badass.
Like the original one,
real Undertaker,
with the hat and the big tie and whatnot.
Yeah, and the long leather coat. And
I like that.
I'm gonna eat you for lunch. Look,
with Paul Bearer, right? That's the Undertaker we like.
Yeah, I like the Undertaker now too. So
yeah,
I know he's retiring, but I've always liked the Undertaker.
All right, that's a good one. See, we thought we were going with the bowling question. I switched it up to a little wrestling, Pete.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. The number 2.
No answers.
All right. Do you think today's game is as much a shot maker's game as it was back when you were in tour, or back in the 80s, or not?
Absolutely not. I don't think the accuracy level is as good now as it was then. Because, like I say, you can miss an arrow right. These two-handed bowlers can miss an arrow right and get it back, to where other guys can't miss 2 arrows right and get it back. So I just don't think accuracy is really that big a part of bowling right now.
All right. Valid point, Justin, right?
The only tournament I think that shot making comes into play is the U.S. Open. That's the only tournament, because you're not going to miss an arrow to the right and get it back.
No, if you miss by 1, you're missing the head pin altogether.
Yeah. So that's the only tournament I think that is a shot maker's tournament.
All right, let's go to 3, Justin. This is one of the ones we always ask, and let's see if Pete gives the answer that everybody's given so far. Pete, who's the best guy to bowl on tour that never won a title?
Wow.
And everybody we've asked this to has said the same guy over and over, right, Justin? There's at least 10, 12 guys have said this guy's name.
A lot of them have said it, yeah.
Yeah. I stumped him. Pete.
Well, I'm
Justin.
now.
I'll give you a hint. The guy is a lefty.
Back then?
He bowled in the 90s.
Not Scott Devers?
No. He was retired, right, Justin? And then he made a show at the U.S. Open at Carolier.
Richard Wolff.
That's the guy.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. Richard Wolff.
Yeah, Richie Wolff and Brian LeClaire is another one that comes to mind. Everybody said those two were probably
Brian's a great bowler, yes, but he's on the senior tour, and he's tearing that senior tour up right now too. So.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next one there, Mr. Bohn. What's going through your mind, Pete, when you drop the U.S. Open trophy? Arguably one of the best highlights of your career.
My first thought was, oh, man, I'm in trouble again. That's what I really thought, because I dropped the trophy. I thought they were going to fine me or something for that, But that's what I really thought.
It was
trouble again.
Was it like loose from the base or something? Like it wasn't on there securely?
There's a little story behind that. Nelson Burton Jr., aka Bo, took the top of the trophy, the double stick tape trophy, moved it for the cameraman so the camera guy didn't have to move his camera, and then never bothered to put it back.
Oh.
Norm Duke, before they handed me the trophy, said, Peter, I told this to your brother or somebody that whoever gets that trophy is going to drop it. It's going to fall off. And Nelson Burton Jr. never fessed up to that until recently. He said, he finally on somebody's show said, all right, I'm fessing up to it. I'm the reason Pete Weber dropped the trophy. So
it was Bo's
fault.
So it was Bo's fault. It's not Pete's fault.
Yes, it was Nelson Burton Jr.'s fault.
All right. So Bo Burden's fault, Justin.
And
that one.
Norm Duke called it.
All right. See, we like stories. We want to hear those stuff. We want to hear that stuff here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one. So let's go to the next one, Pete. So you're at the local center. You're practicing. Random parent comes up to you and says, "Hey, Pete, I want to give you, let's see if you give my child lessons or whatnot, right? Are you going to teach the child the traditional game, the one-handed, or are you going to say, no, you got to use the two-handed? That's the wave of the future. What method of bowling would you teach a child now?"
One-handed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hear disowning in the background.
I respect the two-handers, and what they do to a bowling ball is amazing. I do not agree with it.
And I don't want to get too much, but why?
Bowling is a one-handed game. It always has been. It always should be. It's the way it was. Has baseball changed besides anything?
Well, not really.
Right-handed, left-handed. Still throw right-handed or left-handed. Catch right-handed or left-handed. So it's kind of hard to say what's right and what's wrong, but I respect it, but I don't have to like it.
Okay, then I'm going to go to like a sub question of this one, Justin, really quick. So who do you think is more responsible for like a change or revolutionizing the game, Roth or Belmonte?
Roth for the one-handed crankers.
Mm-hmm.
Belmonte for the two-handers.
Obviously.
That's the only fair answer I can give.
Okay.
Mark Roth was the first super cranker that they had, and guys wanted to do that. And there are some powerful one-handed bowlers, man. They get a lot of revolutions on that ball. Mm-hmm. But Jason's revolutionized it for the two-handed bowler, and there's a lot more two-handed bowlers than I've ever seen before. So,
All right. So let's go to the next one here, guys. Pete, of all the guys that are on tour now, the kids tour, the younger guys, who reminds you the most of a younger Pete Weber?
Somebody else thinking for me too. I always said Sean Rash.
No.
Because he was a little bit cocky, he had a little bit of attitude, and he kind of voiced his opinion. So okay. I always said Sean Rash.
Okay, and you're getting a disagreeing from whoever's in the room with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
I have to think about that. I'll get back to you.
All right.
You'll get back to me on that one.
All right, we'll go back to that one, Justin. We'll get back there later.
Okay.
All right. Age is not a factor here, Pete. Okay. Age does not play a factor in this question. We have the angle Pete Weber. We have the Piranha Power Torque-ish Pete Weber. And then we have the Storm Pete Weber. Age is not a factor. Which Pete Weber was the toughest and why? All three, like you get the urethane, the beginning of resin, the more modern resin. Which one is the toughest and why?
I would say the angle Pete Weber, because it was urethane. And it hit the pins for me. I mean, when I was on a TV show, you were going to have to beat me with urethane. And there weren't many guys that could do that.
That's the answer. We love that cockiness, Justin.
That's good stuff.
And you know what? Let's do a giveaway really quick, Justin.
All right.
Since Pete's talking about the angle here, and we'll let Pete answer this one at the end of the show. We'll do an autograph chamois from Buddies.
You got it.
Question is, who did Pete beat to win his first major? I know the answer to that one. Simple. Type into the chat box. First one.
Oh, wow. I had to think about that for a second.
So first one to type it in with the correct answer will win the autograph chamois. Who did Pete beat to win his first major on tour? First one to type it in correctly will win the chamois. All right, Justin?
You got it.
All right. So Pete, let's go to the next question. We asked this to all of the U.S. Open champions we have on the show here, and we've had a couple. You ever wear the green jacket around the neighborhood?
No, I don't. No, it's not something that I really want to wear out in public with a suit, a nice shirt and a tie.
Like Belmonte said, he would go to a Five Guys wearing his green jacket.
I definitely would.
Okay, well,
I mean, to each his own, right?
Yeah, but I do have all 5 jackets, and they are all downstairs in a plastic wrap hanging up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had to ask. You know, we have the champion of U.S. Opens here, so we had to ask. All right. So let's go to the next one, Pete. If there was ever a telecast that you've made that you could watch repeatedly for a good and a bad thing, which shows would they be?
Hmm.
The Haugen one?
Well, wow, that's another tough question.
I feel like a piece of garbage for stumping him tonight, Justin. I didn't want to do this.
No,
I'm sorry.
Makes me think. So well, you stumped me. I really can't give you an answer on that.
All right. We respect that, Justin. I don't want to. I feel like I'm pissing him off with my questions.
No, maybe the Michael Haugen match sticks out because everybody thinks I was the one that started the trash talking, and I didn't start it. I was just standing there with my hand over the ball return. He says, "Oh, it's on now," and I turned around. He gave me the look, and oh, okay, so that's how it is. So that was kind of good for me because it kind of like made me mad and made me more determined to do something. So being good, that would be a good.
All right. I got 2 more, Justin. I see one interesting question in the chat log too.
Okay.
All right. So Pete, age 57. Does Pete Weber think he has enough in the tank to win one more time on the national tour?
That's gonna be hard because after this year, I mean, I'm pretty much done with the national tour, and it's been 3 years since I've made a check out there, and that's really frustrating to me to think to know that I am a bowler that knows how to play the game and has problems because he can't figure out what to do. And that's really frustrating. And it's, and I know how the older generation felt when I first came out on tour and I was a power player. I know how they felt because their balls were leaving flat 10s and my ball was slapping it out. And nowadays I'm leaving the flat 10s and the guys that have the power balls are slapping them out. So, it's very frustrating to me. So I think I'm going to stick with like the Tournament of Champions, the U.S. Open, the Players, the Masters. Those will be sufficient for me. And then I'll bowl the Senior Tour full time and do whatever Storm asks me to do.
All right. Well, we would love to. We want to see him back in the winner's circle. We definitely do.
I would love to be.
Oh yeah.
And right now my mental game, is really good because I feel I could win again.
All right. And Justin, this is my last.
How I feel next year at the beginning.
All right. This is my last one, Justin, and then we're going to ask that question we see in the chat. So, Pete, I will never, ever beat you on the lanes. It's just virtually impossible. It's never going to happen. The only thing I think I'd ever have a chance of beating Pete Weber in is one thing, and I know you're a fan of it. So, if we ever cross paths, an open challenge to play Pete Weber in a game of Golden Tee golf.
Oh, wow.
See, now look at that, Justin. That's smart. I think I'd have a chance in that. So if we ever cross paths and there's a Golden Tee in the bowling center, an open challenge is made to Pete Weber to play me in the golf game. And
we got it. Me and Jason Queen, we would play that game for 5-6 hours, especially when there was a tournament going on. We would play the Golden Tee 5-6 hours at a time.
Oh God!
Wow.
I mean, we had nothing else to do, so girls went shopping. We went to the place that had the Golden Tee and played Golden Tee. It was a blast.
Justin, there it is. The challenge has been accepted. We hope that they have a Golden Tee in Maine. We'll be up in Maine, and Pete, I will. I'm going to find you when you're done bowling. We're going to play some golf, and hopefully, I can say I beat a Weber in something.
Well,
Bucket list.
don't ever say you can't beat me on the lanes because everybody has a day.
That is true.
Beat me.
That is true.
Katie beat me, so my daughters beat me too. She beat me in Japan. They bowled 220 and I had 2-0. So
All right,
anybody can win.
No, you're correct, but over the long run, it's like a one-legged man in a rear end kicking contest. Let's call a spade here. We know that's going to happen. So, Justin, I see one question, and we're going to wrap this up in a second. All right, Pete, how about this one? Favorite ball from your 3 companies you've been associated with on tour? It's an interesting one, Justin.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah,
with AMF, it was the black angle. Everybody had a black angle. So that was the best ball AMF ever made. Actually, with Columbia, I liked the Torque, and I also liked the Beast.
Purple Beast was a good ball.
I had 2 with that. And with Storm, do you have time?
Yeah.
I got a lot of them. The El Nino, the La Nina, the Pearl Thunder Road, the Marvel Pearl. There is the High Road. I mean, there's just so many with Storm that I like that it's hard to pin it to just one ball.
All right.
But the other companies, it was pretty easy.
Good stuff. Justin, my 10 have been completed.
That was good. That was a fun time.
So, Pete, how about this? Let's wrap it up. You have the floor. Anything you want to tell the fans out there? Anything? Pete Weber has the floor.
Hey, people, thank you very much for joining me and Justin and Mike. It's been really fun. I mean, just remember, I'm an old guy. I'm having fun now in life, and I just enjoy what I do. So don't hold it against me, all right?
And Pete, who did you beat?
Everybody.
And Pete, who did you beat for your first major in the '87 Firestone?
Jim Murdishaw.
That is the answer. Jim Murdishaw from
And you
California.
made me think about that one for a second too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
we will find out who got that correctly answered first, Justin. But Pete, thank you for the hour. It was awesome, and we wish you the best. Stay safe during this COVID crap, and we want to see you back on the lanes more frequently for sure.
Guys, thank you so much. You guys stay safe too. The best of both of you. All good here. Thanks, guys.
Pete, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The great Pete Weber.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
All right, and Justin, that was a good spot.
Yeah, that was definitely a really, 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 really fun time for sure.
I kind of felt bad. Like I felt like I got him a couple of times. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. You stumped him more than once.
I didn't want to do that, though. That's not what I was here to do.
No.
But he gave some good stuff and a lot of insight, and he doesn't hold back.
Very true. Very true.
He does not hold back. So we'll have to find out who our winner is of the chamois that gave that correct answer.
Yep. We will reach out to them through Facebook, through Messenger on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Now, why don't we tell everybody what we have coming up for the rest of the week, Justin? We have a special week coming up here.
Go right ahead.
So Thursday, we will be at our normal time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We will have two guests joining us on Thursday evening. We will have Mike Machuga, and I guess one guy Pete would probably say was a two-hander before the two-handers came out on tour. He not many guys hit it as hard as this guy, right?
No, Robert Smith.
Robert Smith will be with us on Thursday. The both of them, they have a lot of things to say, and that should be a good spot. A lot of interesting stories, the amateur stuff, and
yeah, for sure. That'll be a fun time.
They're both in the bowling business in different aspects of it now, so it'll be kind of cool to see what they're up to. And what do we got going on Friday?
So we actually can't really quite say what it is yet.
But we're going to be on Friday morning, though.
Yes.
We will be on Friday morning with 3 people? I
believe so. And
three very big names. We're going to leave it at that, but 3 very big names in the business.
Yep.
Will be with us on Friday.
Be sure to join us on Thursday. I know I'm going to be having, or for me personally, I got a tournament tomorrow, which another vlog will be coming out, and then Teen Masters next week. So we will be off next week. I will be down in Virginia, and if you want to see how or keep up with how we're doing it there, I'm going to do my best and try and vlog every single day and get it up the next day.
And you will definitely vlog, and you're awesome at that stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a fun time, so I'm gonna do it for Team Masters, just like Brad and Kyle do it.
Is that the one where you got to use 2 balls only? That's the tournament.
Yeah, so you get it's like a pearl urethane. You get up to 2 of them, and it's 1 ball.
Okay, I really quick. I think Pete really liked your impersonations of him.
Oh yeah, he loved it,
dude. That was awesome. I'm looking at it again. You absolutely nailed them.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
That was a fun time. But all right, so let's wrap it up.
All right, so
we will be back on Thursday.
Thank you so much for watching. We will be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock with Mike Machuga and Robert Smith. Be sure to check out BuddiesProShop.com. Use coupon code ZONE5OFF to save 5% off of your next order. As for now, I'm Justin Bohn, my partner Mike Val, and this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we're always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. See you guys Thursday night.
See you guys on Thursday.